friends, welcome to Kids Spot and a brand new series called Better Than Gold. By the way, I love all your pirate and princess costumes. So during this series, we're going to be discovering treasure that is better than gold. What do you guys think it could be? It's the Bible. The Bible is an amazing book full of God's words that tell us God's story. Say this with me. God's word is God's story. That's right. So this is a Bible. Many of you guys have Bibles at homes, and every Bible looks a little bit different. But each Bible is a big book of 66 smaller chapter books, and it's divided into two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So today's story comes from the very first book in the Bible called Genesis, and this is also the very first book in the Old Testament. We're going to start reading in the very first chapter, chapter 1. When you look in a Bible, the biggest number tells you what chapter it is. The smaller number tells you just what verse you are in. So in the first chapter of Genesis, there are 31 verses. But let's go ahead and jump in at verse number 1. As I do, if you have a treasure map, you can fill it out. If you don't want to have one, just listen, but it can be found on the Sea Life Kids Facebook page. So here we go. In the beginning, it was dark everywhere. There was nothing, no trees, water, sun, moon. There weren't even people. Then God created the heavens and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. This was the very first day ever. So if you find number 1 on your treasure map sheet, at number 1, you can color half of the box a dark color and the other half a light color. Keep drawing and I'll keep telling the story. So on day 2, God made the sky up high and the waters below. Then on day 3, God made dry ground and plants. He called the dry ground land, and he named the water sea. If you find number 2 on your treasure map, you can draw a plant, tree, or flower, whatever you like the most. Keep drawing, and I'll keep telling the story. So on day 4, God made the sun to shine during the day and the moon and stars to shine at night. On day 5, God made the animals that live in the seas and animals that fly in the sky. On day 6, God made all of the animals that live on land. But that wasn't all God made on that day. He also made the very first people. Does anyone know their names? He created Adam and Eve. If you find number 3 on your treasure map, you will see a box where you can draw your favorite animal, Adam and Eve, or anything that God created. Adam and Eve were best friends with God. The Bible tells us that they talked to him, walked with him, and loved him so much. Everything was perfect until a sneaky snake came to visit Eve. And you know what that sneaky snake did? He lied to Eve. Eve believed the snake's lie, and she and Adam sinned. And it hurt their friendship with God. But God knew this was going to happen, and he had a plan to fix their friendship with him. If you find number 4 on the treasure map, you can draw a Bible. Because boys and girls, it's a treasure better than gold. You keep drawing, I'll keep telling my story. So God had a plan for people to know his love and experience friendship with God. And that's what the story of the Bible is all about. God spoke to create the world, and he kept on speaking. He keeps on speaking. He spoke to people who wrote down his words, and he turned them into books. From beginning to end in the Bible, boys and girls, the Bible is a God's word to us. Every word of it is his story, God's story about everything. He did this to show us his love. If you're done with your treasure map, you can fold it on the back on the dashed line and make it a real treasure map, leading to something better than gold, God's word. Now say this with me one more time. God's word is God's story. So before we tune off today, we're going to learn a brand new memory verse together. There are even some motions, so do it with me. Your word to me, your servant, is like pure gold. I treasure what you say. Psalm 119, 140. Great job. I'm super excited to continue discovering how this treasure, the Bible, is better than gold. Over the next 8 weeks, we will discover it together. So join us next week, and we hope that you have an amazing week. Love you guys.